You are asking me, what is the one most important secret
Yes.
for acquiring wealth?
Yes.
I am getting ready to share with you the one most significant secret for becoming financially successful.
부자가 되고 성공하려면 부자들에게 배워야 합니다. 하지만 내 상황에 꼭 맞는 조언과 가르침을 줄 부자를 만나는 건 쉬운 일이 아닙니다. 마크 트웨인이 이런 말을 한 적이 있습니다. 유대인은 전 세계의 1%도 안 되지만 성공하고 돈 버는 사람들을 말할 땐 항상 유대인이 있고 독일의 85% 이상의 돈 되는 사업은 유대인이 소유하고 있다. 세계 어디를 가도 성공하는 유대인의 방식을 이해하고 적용할 줄 알면 분명 성공의 한 발자국 더 가까워질 겁니다. 하버드 출신 미디어 회사 오너 벤 샤피로의 스승인 유대인 랍비를 통해 배워보시죠.
I'm Rabbi Daniel Lappin. My job is to teach ancient Jewish wisdom in a way that makes it accessible to people of every background or of no background at all, to teach it in a practical way, in the way that it has helped generations of Jewish people of every nation, nationality, and particularly in the areas of finance, marriage and family, social relationships, physical health.
So you pretty much cover everything about life.
It is the important things, yes, absolutely. If your finances are in good shape, you have a loving spouse and a wonderful family, you've got no money worries and you've got good friends and you're in good health, you don't really have a lot to complain about.
I am really thrilled to ask you this question. What is your definition of wealth?
First of all, I want to make clear, when I speak about wealth, I'm speaking as an economist, not as a poet. So I'm not going to say, oh, wealth is somebody who is happy in his life, or wealth means somebody who is satisfied with his situation. No, wealth is monetary. And so we're talking about substantial financial assets. Now, how much? That is impossible to say because all wealth is comparative. So right now, I live better, much better than King Louis in the Palace of Versailles in Paris, in France. I live much better than he lived. No question about it. I have air conditioning. I have beautiful bathroom facilities. I have a swimming pool. I can speak to whoever I want by just picking up my telephone. I can watch television. In certain ways, you could say that I have much more than King Louis had, but it would be wrong to say that I am wealthier than he was, because you've got to measure his wealth in comparison to the people among whom he lived, and you have to measure my wealth in comparison to the people among whom I live. A status of being wealthy is having streams of passive income beyond your day-to-day needs. That's a starting point for wealth.
Young and rich, is it possible?
Yes, it's certainly possible. After all, wealth is the result of generating revenue. So that's really what we're talking about, because if we talk about wealth, it remains an undefined quantity. But if we talk about revenue, we're talking about something very real and very practical and very down to earth. And so increasing revenue is the key metric that we have to improve, we have to do something about. Now, it is true that as years and time go by, invested assets can increase in value. For instance, in the United States and in many countries around the world, as the value of real estate has risen, and I think it's true in South Korea also, you might have an older couple who never made very much money in their lives, but they bought a house 40 years ago. And today that house is worth much more than $1 million. So they are today millionaires in terms of assets. The only problem is they still need a house to live in. So it's not as if it could be sold. If they would have bought 2 houses 40 years ago, that would have been a good move. But we're talking about generating wealth not by waiting for appreciation of assets. We're talking about generating revenue by action, by activities. The key equation is one that links revenue to providing value to other people. That is the most fundamental and most basic statement.
When it comes to value, would you say product or services specifically?
Products or services is a perfectly acceptable way to define value, yes.
If there is the secret, because your book, you mentioned that secret, what is the secret to flourish in business and accumulate wealth?
The one most significant secret for becoming financially successful. Are you ready?
I am ready. Yes, sir.
The number one most important secret is that there is no one secret. In my book, Thou Shalt Prosper, I reduce it to 10 commandments for making money. 10. And that is certainly the absolute lowest number that it's possible to reduce it all. But it's important not to oversimplify this. We mustn't be foolish about it. We've got to be mature, and we've got to understand that adventure of making money and increasing revenue means that we do some exciting journeys into a number of different areas, many of which are going to be new to you.
It was shocking when I first heard it. You said, if someone is not rich enough, then you don't deal with the person, because that basically shows how he or she understands relationship and servitude with other people.
It is good and healthy to want more money. That does not make you a greedy person. It only makes you a greedy person if you want to take more money. If you want to steal money from other people, that makes you a greedy person. But if you don't want to take money, but you want to make money, that makes you a good person, because you understand that the only way to make money is that you have to do something that makes other people want to put money in your pocket. And the only way to make other people want to put money in your pocket is to give them in return something that is worth more than the money they give you. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. And so you are helping other people when you make money. You've got to understand this, because if you don't, then your motivation is attenuated because of your internal moral doubts about the whole enterprise of making money. The end result, when you and I do a financial transaction, we're both happier at the end of it than we were before. And so if I buy something from you, I do it because whatever I'm buying from you, to me, has more value than the money that I'm giving you. And for you, the money has more value than what it is you are parting with and giving to me. It makes a financial transaction an incredibly moral activity. It's the most terrible advice that is given to young students. You know, they're ready to leave school and they've got to look for work. Find a job doing what you love doing. That is complete rubbish. That's a big lie. No. Look, if I am interviewing somebody to come and work in my company, and I say to the person, what is your ambition? What would you like to be doing in a few years? If the person says to me, I want to make enough money so I can go and write music and play in a band, I say goodbye and I never talk to him again, because he sees the job working for me as just a way to get what he wants. But if the person answers and says, my ambition is to become so useful to you that you cannot manage without me, I'm happy to hear that. Encouraging of a young person getting a job, because a job introduces you to reality. You get paid if you do what your boss tells you to do and you do it properly. If you don't, you get fired. And so being locked into reality is a very important part of what Judaism and Torah teaches. Let me tell you why I failed to deliver the product on the date I promised you it would get to you. Well, you see, this is what happened. I'm not interested. You did not deliver. That's all that matters. It may sound harsh, but it is reality. And it's important to learn that very early. How we treat other people is more important than how we feel about them.